Many ideas and invention designs are groundbreaking. They have the potential to completely change the way we perceive the world and carry out our daily duties. Some inventions were so ahead of their time that they set the path for future generations to build on. Brilliant people have built gadgets, vehicles, and just about anything else you can think of. Throughout history, human civilizations have witnessed engineering marvels from time to time that helped improve the quality of life. From the three-light traffic signal to the refrigerated trucks, automatic elevator doors, color monitors for desktop computers, home security system, and countless other inventions. But did you know that many of the objects and services we use today were actually invented by black men and women, and in some cases, they never received recognition for their inventions? In this video, we'll take a quick look at some of the inventions that have sprung from the minds of black inventors and that made our daily lives easier. Let's start with a home security system co-invented by Mary Van Britten Brown in 1966. Before security systems became a fixture in homes, an African-American nurse, Mary Van Britten Brown, devised an early security unit for her own home. She spent many nights at home alone in Queens, New York, while her husband was away and felt unsafe with high rates of crime in her neighborhood. On top of that, police were unreliable and unresponsive, so she created a device that would help put her mind at ease. In 1966, Brown invented a system that used a camera that could slide into and look through 4 peepholes in her front door. The camera's view would then appear on a monitor in her home so she could survey any potential unwanted guests. She added other features to the system, including a microphone to speak to anyone at the door, a button to unlock the door, and a button to contact the police. She and her husband took out a patent for the system in the same year, and they were awarded the patent 3 years later, in 1969. Home security systems commonly used today took various elements from her design. Next, the three-light traffic signal, invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923. With only an elementary school education, black inventor Garrett Morgan came up with several significant inventions, including an improved sewing machine and the gas mask. However, one of Morgan's most influential inventions was the improved traffic light. Morgan's was one of the first three-light systems that were invented in the 1920s, resulting in widespread adoption of the traffic lights we take for granted today. Thanks to the successes of his other inventions, Morgan was able to purchase a car, and as a motorist, he witnessed a severe car accident at an intersection in his city of Cleveland, Ohio. In response to this, he decided to expand on the current traffic light by adding a yield component, warning oncoming drivers of an impeding stop. He took out the patent for the creation in 1923, and it was granted to him the following year. And that's how the three-light traffic stop was born. The same system created back in 1920 has remained in place for over a century. Refrigerated trucks, invented by Frederick McKinley Jones in 1940. Imagine a life without ice cream, fresh milk, fresh vegetables, or cold drinks. It doesn't sound like fun, does it? Now imagine having to go to the grocery store every single day to make sure your food was fresh. And imagine having to throw away the leftovers from your dinner because you had nowhere to store them. If your refrigerator has any product from your local grocery store, then you can credit African inventor Frederick McKinley Jones. Jones took out more than 60 patents throughout his life, including a patent for the roof-mounted cooling system that is used to refrigerate goods on trucks during extended transportation in the mid-1930s. He received a patent for his invention in 1940 and co-founded the US Thermo Control Company, later known as Thermo King. The company was critical during World War II, helping to preserve blood, food, and supplies during the war. Automatic elevator doors, invented by Alexander Miles in 1887. Shopping centers, offices, and residential buildings have not only got bigger but taller. Without the invention of passenger lifts, buildings like multi-story museums and department stores would not be available to a large part of the population. The invention of the elevator enabled a whole new type of architecture and had a profound effect on our culture. The use of elevators in everyday life keeps people from committing to long and grueling climbs up several flights of stairs. However, before the creation of elevator doors that close automatically, riding a lift was both complicated and risky. People had to manually shut both the shaft and elevator doors before riding. Forgetting to do so led to multiple accidents as people fell down elevator shafts. As the story goes, when the daughter of African-American inventor Alexander Miles almost fatally fell down the elevator shaft, he took it upon himself to develop a solution. In 1887, he took out a patent for a mechanism that automatically opens and closes elevator shaft doors. His original designs are largely reflected in elevators used around the world today. Moving on to the electric microphone invented by James West in 1964. Even for those who are quick to pick up the mic during karaoke, microphones are used every day to communicate over distances far and wide. And the vast majority of microphones used today, including the microphones used in cell phones and cameras, use a microphone co-invented by a black man. Dr. James E. West was tasked with creating a more sensitive and compact microphone while working at Bell Labs in 1960. Along with his German colleague Gerard Sessler, West invented the Foy electret microphone, which was considerably less expensive to produce than the typically used condenser microphones. 2 years after it was invented, the final model of the microphone was developed, and in 1964 they patented the landmark invention. Only 4 years later, the new microphone was in wide production and was being used in hearing aids, tape recorders, most telephones, and baby monitors. James E. West was a true pioneer of his time, and we can thank him for his invention. Carbon light bulb filament, invented by Lewis Howard Latimer in 1881. The light bulb itself was perfected by Thomas Edison, but the innovation used to create longer-lasting light bulb with a carbon filament came from African-American inventor Lewis Latimer. Latimer began work in a patent law firm after serving in the military for the Union during the Civil War. He was recognized for his talent drafting patents and was promoted to head draftsman, where he co-invented an improved bathroom for railroad trains. His successes would garner him further attention from the US Electric Lighting Company, putting him in direct competition with Edison in 1880. While there, Latimer patented a new filament for the light bulb using carbon instead of more incendiary materials like bamboo that were commonly used for filaments. The addition of the carbon filament increased the lifespan and practicality of light bulbs, which had previously died after just a few days. In 1884, Latimer went on to work with Edison at the Edison Electric Light Company. Color IBM PC monitor and GigaEarth chip, co-invented by Mark Dean in 1980 and 1999. Before flat screens and high-definition LCD monitors were the norm, PC displays were limited to screens with no color that were tethered to computers with limited processing power. That all changed thanks to Black inventor and engineer Mark Dean. Dean began working for IBM as a chief engineer in the early 1980s, making up a team of 12 people who would develop the first IBM PC. In addition to helping create IBM's original machine in his early years with the company, he also worked to develop the color monitor. And he led the team that developed the first GigaEarth processor. The massive chip, built in 1999, would allow for higher processing rates and faster speeds within PCs. So we can thank this brilliant man for the colored monitor we enjoy today. He paved the way. Improved ironing board, invented by Sarah Boone in 1892. The ironing board is a product used possibly just as much as it is overlooked. In the late 19th century, it was improved upon by Sarah Boone, an African-American woman, one of the first black women in US history to receive a patent. She expanded upon the original ironing board, which was essentially a horizontal wooden block, originally patented in 1858. With Boone's 1892 additions, the board featured a narrower and curved design, making it easier to iron garments, particularly women's clothing. Boone's design would morph into the modern ironing board that we all use today. Let's acknowledge the talent these brave men and women put into their inventions and applaud their courage. Thank you.